Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm joined again by Scrooge here from the Scriptless Week. And what we're doing today is I have a list of metal subgenres. Some of them are real and some of them are fake, and Scrooge is going to have to guess whether or not it's a real or fake one. How are you feeling going into this?
Logically, it feels like it would be easier to guess if a subgenre is real compared to band names. Hopefully, I have a better guess ratio here.
Some of them can be kind of weird or crazy. Like the names I think was crazier. It actually might be easier because you might be right, because like I guess you can only go so crazy with how your music actually sounds, but I guess we'll see once we get into it. The first one is Viking metal. The description goes, this genre is characterized by lyrics about Norse mythology and the Viking Age. This genre doesn't have much of a musical definition because it's more about the lyrics, but common elements include heavy riffs, both sung and growled vocals, and use of folk instrumentation. So you have to guess if that's a real genre or not.
Okay, so we're not doing multiple choices.
Right.
That does make... I was wondering, like, the whole descriptor's like, dang, is he gonna, like, give me 3 descriptions? But that makes more sense. I'm going to say no.
Okay, do you have a particular reasoning for that?
Because I feel like they would call it Celtic rock.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, Celtic music's pretty popular. I feel like they would call it Celtic. Well, I'm not exactly sure exactly Celtic means. I know it's in that area. Let me look up Celtic now, I'm curious. Related to the Celts. Irish, Scottish, Gaelic, Welsh, Breton, Manx, Cornish. Pretty Viking-ish.
Alright.
Guess it's got all of them in there.
So you're gonna say no?
Say no.
That is a real genre.
Dang, I guess they decided it was different enough.
I think there is a separate Celtic metal genre, because like in that description that they're naming other countries and not like, where do Vikings come from? Like Sweden or like Norway or something?
It's like Northwest Europe. I think it's like Norway, Sweden and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it include like Scotland, but it doesn't. I think Scotland had Vikings.
Might need to look that up. I know they had kilts and bagpipes.
I know that in How to Train Your Dragons, the Vikings had a Scottish accent.
Well, sometimes they make characters have accent just because they think it sounds good. Like Shrek had an Irish accent, but he wasn't from Ireland. At least I don't think so. Maybe there's maybe there's lore that we don't know about.
Yeah, the secret lore there. It's entirely possible.
All right, well, anyways, we're going to move on to number 2. This one is called fairy metal. Rather than being heavy, fairy metal uses synthesizers, chimes, and bells to create a magical atmosphere. Lyrical themes include magic and magical creatures, and is usually sung by female vocalists.
I feel like I've heard of that before somewhere. That seems like something Japan would do. I'm going to say that's real.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Do you know the band Baby Metal?
No, I can guess.
So yeah, I guess I can see how that would be a real thing over there, but that is actually a false. I made it up. It's not real.
Maybe I was thinking of Baby Metal.
There's a band called The Birthday Massacre that I feel like maybe could fit in this made up category, but I think the category that they actually fall in is called like gothic rock or like metal. I feel like
I wouldn't know.
I feel like it would be an interesting thing to try in making music that actually fits this description.
I'm sure someone has made music that does fit that description. There's bound to be at least a couple people. I guess it's just not large enough to be a genre. Or maybe they have a different name for it.
Maybe. All right, number 3. It's called backpedal. This is a subgenre of black metal where black metal songs are played in reverse, pitch dropped, slowed, and reverbed.
What does it even mean to do it backwards? Think of a song. Does that mean you write it forwards and then you write it back? And then you just play it backwards? What does that mean?
So they take a black metal song that already exists that was played normally, and they just go into their audio program and they say reverse, and it just reverses it.
Oh. Well, you know what? I'm going to say that's false, just because I feel like that falls into a weird legality issue.
That's a good point, I guess.
I hope that means I'm right.
And you are. It is a fake genre.
Hey, good.
So actually, there's a YouTuber called Pagefire who does videos about metal genres, and he'll like explain the characteristics of it, and then he'll like make a song that's an example of that genre. And he made a video about backpedal, and he was like going into the history and all these things about it, and then he's like, and here's a song that I made in this genre, and he was about to hit play, and he goes, "Aha, you fool! I made it off, boy!" And I was like, what? Like I thought it was real based on like how in detail he went into it.
I've gotten tricked by April Fools before. I always forget it exists. Sometimes I'll have to check the date, you know, I'm like, this seems really unlikely to be, like, it seems convincing, but like, this seems unlikely. I'll have to check the date.
And the funny thing was that in the beginning of the day, I had it in the back of my mind, today's April Fool's. But when I was watching that, it was just so convincing that I kind of forgot about that. Next one, number 4, it's called Porno Grind, a subgenre of grindcore characterized by pornographic lyrics. Musically, it's the same as grindcore.
I don't believe I'm familiar with grindcore. What's it used in?
Huh?
What's it used for?
What's it used for?
Yeah. Like, why do people make it?
What? Why do people make it?
Yeah.
The genre porno grind, or what do you...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's really fast, like dirty sounding, grungy, like metal with lyrics that are like pornographic in nature. That's just...
Okay. I'm trying to challenge you here, you know. Get extra information, you know?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say fake.
Fake?
That's what I guess.
Why do you say that?
Because you had a really hard time explaining why people made it. But, I mean, that could just be because you just didn't know.
It's real.
Oh, you conned me.
Your question confused me because you asked, like, why do people make it? And I'm like, why do people make any music? You know, it's like, it's just an idea someone came up with. It was like, hey, let's make a metal band with shitty lyrics about doing horrible things.
Do people ever say, let's make a really terrible song, you know? Or does it just end up terrible?
I'm sure that there are some people who make things sound shitty on purpose just because, or like because as a joke. A vocalist that I mentioned in the last video, Justin Bonnet's, one of his little like side projects that he released and then took down was this album that the whole point was for it to sound as shitty as possible. Like the way he screamed was like and like it sounded like real hollow, and like, you know, the production was bad and it was all distorted.
I could see that. So I could actually, you know, I think I've probably heard a couple songs like that. Now that I think about it.
Actually, some bands, so like black metal, they intentionally make the recordings not sound good. At least the ones that black metal elitists call true black metal, because they think that makes it doesn't become as mainstream, right? They don't want to be like this mainstream thing.
Is that like their personality? We don't want to be pop.
I guess so.
That's actually really funny. It's like that kid in class that stops liking something as soon as it becomes popular. It's a little bit of that in everyone, I think.
You'd be surprised by how metal elitists are, particularly black metal elitists, because they're like, if it wasn't recorded in Norway in the winter when it was snowing in a log cabin with a shitty microphone, then it's not real black metal.
Gatekeepers, they are.
Yeah.
Gatekeepers.
essentially what it is. All right, the next one, number 5. I think you're already gonna know this because well, let's just get into it. It's called kawaii metal. This genre combines heavy metal instrumentation with J-pop melodies sung by Japanese idol girls.
This is either real or there's something that fits the exact same description with another name. 'Cause this is definitely a thing. And you confirmed it was a thing, which whether or not it's called what it's called is up to debate. I'll go ahead and say that one's real.
And you are right. So
Nice.
I mentioned baby metal and I forgot that kawaii metal was in this list. And I was like, fuck, I think I just gave it away. or at least reminded you that was the thing. But yeah, they started that. And then there was a bunch of other bands that kind of wanted to capitalize on that success, I guess. And there's this weird band called, I think Lady Baby, where this dude dresses like an anime girl.
That's funny. Japan's got a really weird idol culture.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, their culture is weird.
I feel like it's like normal, really weird.
Number 7. This one is called Nintendo Core. This genre combines chiptune music, 8-bit sounds, and electronic with heavy metal.
There's one thing I know about Nintendo. They're very protective of their intellectual rights. I don't know if it's just a genre, like no individual company has ownership over it, then I don't know if they could copyright something like that.
Yeah, like I guess they would only be able to claim copyright would be like if they use if they sampled a sound from a game, or like if they use a Nintendo character in their album cover or something like that.
I don't know. You know, I've actually heard a lot of chiptunes, and Nintendo is not the first company I think of.
Really?
Give chiptunes. So I'm gonna say that's not true.
Which one is the first thing that you think of when you think of chiptune?
Sega first.
Guess it kind of depends on. Some people grow up with one console over the other.
Well, I guess it's because I've played really old Sega games, but I haven't played really old Nintendo games.
Yeah, so that's like what you know. So that's what you think of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like PlayStation and Xbox. Unless you have a lot of money, you just buy all the consoles.
No. It was a GameCube. And I had like a collection. A Sonic collection. It had like a bunch of old Sonic games on it.
Oh, and they're Sega, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, this is a real genre.
Poorly named genre.
I mean, I guess I feel like most people probably think of Nintendo when they think of old consoles because Sega, I don't know, I feel like it was kind of like second to Nintendo.
But Sega had some really good music though. Okay. I think if you would ask somebody, think of like the best music from like an old console from like these or 80s, you know, I think there'd be a fair few people who would pick something from a Sega.
I wouldn't know. I don't really play Sega games. I don't even play that many Nintendo games either. Nintendo Core, I feel like I might need to do more research about it, but it seemed like it was really popular like in between 2000 and 2010. And a lot of the bands that I found that were in this genre were like some dude in their basement like making music with like GarageBand or whatever, because the production wasn't real great, and so it seemed like more like independently made stuff rather than like big bands with studios and stuff. And I feel like that would be the type of thing that would get popular like on what's the name of that site? MySpace.
Newgrounds?
I was thinking of MySpace, but I don't know. Maybe Newgrounds too.
Probably more MySpace, but I'm not sure. I only saw Newgrounds, and like it had fallen off a lot. All the internet stuff is not the same anymore.
Yeah.
It's a bygone era.
All right, next one, number 8. This is also kind of Japanese inspired one. It's called kaiju metal. This genre is characterized by slow, heavy, monstrous riffs inspired by kaiju movies like Godzilla.
I'm going to say this one's fake because kaijus, okay, I've watched my fair share of anime, and anytime if there's like a big monster, it's never like slow music. It's always pretty fast and loud.
Really?
So I don't think it would be slow.
I guess when I think of kaijus, I've watched a lot of Godzilla movies, and I don't think I've ever watched any other kaiju movies, but the main theme for Godzilla is kind of slow.
Godzilla, yes, but the kaijus have been used in a lot of other media now. In most of those, it's more fast-paced than Godzilla. So I think kaiju would be a little more speedy. Unless maybe this is a really old genre before kaiju it was like became popular and using it in other things, in which case that could be wrong.
What are you gonna lock in here?
I'm gonna lock in that it's fake.
And you are right. That's a made-up genre.
Yes. Okay.
You might have had some extra kaiju knowledge that I didn't that helped you figure that one out.
I might have. I've seen like 3 or 4 things that have kaiju in them now, excluding Godzilla.
All right, number 9. This one's kind of wild. It's called chainsaw metal. This genre uses chainsaws and sometimes other power tools as instruments. Musicians play on pitch by controlling the speed of the tools.
I think I've heard of a genre. It's like it's like industrial dump trucks or like things like a pile of stuff. It's just like random sounds you might hear like a construction site or a factory or something. So I could totally see like something like this being real. I'm gonna say it's because I'm not sure it's different enough from like industrial or it being a subgenre.
You're saying it's fake?
Yeah, I'm saying it's fake.
And you are right. That's a fake genre.
Okay, I'm doing so much better than I did last time.
Yeah.
It seems like I have little bits of information that are helping me.
I've heard of people doing similar things. Like there is a musician on YouTube called Rob Scallon that plays every instrument under the sun.
I've seen him.
Yeah, he did a song where he got a drill, and I forget if he just recorded the drill by itself or if he recorded the drill next to his guitar, because the guitar pickups will pick up the vibrations of the drill. And he was playing on pitch by how much he pulled the trigger, and which affected how fast the drill spun. So it's been done before, or similar things, but it's not a genre as far as I'm aware. Okay, the next one is number 10, Amish metal. A genre of metal that uses acoustic instruments without amplification and has Amish-themed lyrics. They do not record their music as that would go against their commitment of foregoing electricity.
Well, I guess it begs the question, who's calling it Amish metal? I don't think Amish would ever call something Amish metal. People seeing them play might. 'Cause I'm sure the Amish rock out, but I don't know if they'd bother giving it a name.
Well, like you said, maybe people who watch them live kind of assign them that name.
I will say that it is true.
What pushed you towards that decision?
Because the Amish do play music, and there's got to be at least some of them that are interested in metal, right? But then again, maybe they just don't have a name for it. That, and there's also been a lot of falls consecutively, which makes me think that it's more likely to be a true one.
Trying to get in my brain now.
That's my reasoning. Well, you could be like double conning me again, though. You put up a bunch of false ones, and this one's also false. Thought that I would think that this one would be true.
Well, it is false.
Maybe I conned myself. I don't even know.
If it were real, that would be like the funniest and also coolest thing at the same time.
But I bet you could find it somewhere. I probably wouldn't call it Amish metal, but I'm sure you could find some Amish playing something that sounded like metal.
I can see maybe like an Amish person like getting really good at the guitar or something, but aren't Amish people like some form of Christian, or they're religious somehow, and like I feel like that would kind of go against, like metal is like viewed as a satanic thing, and they wouldn't want to have any part of that.
Well, I think the reason people thought metal was satanic back in the day was because of like the screaming and the lyrics. So if they had normal lyrics and they weren't doing like as much yelling, you know. But then again, maybe that'd be Amish rock. Maybe that wouldn't be metal then. Does metal necessitate yelling? I don't know.
It would be an interesting alternate universe where that actually existed, but we don't live in that universe, so we will never know. Maybe
you'd have to find them. Okay, go out into the mountains. Okay, into the farmland and look around. You can hunt them down
Maybe. All right, we're getting close to the end. We're on the second to the last one. This one is called circus metal. This genre combines metal with circus music, kazoo, accordion, and sometimes other strange genres like jazz, surf, and noise.
Circus metal sounds like it would work, to be honest. Like, thematically. And circus music did used to be pretty popular. You know, I'm gonna guess that's true.
Why do you say circus music was popular?
Well, like when circuses were really popular, circus music was popular.
You mean like...
I mean, like, people may not, like, listen to it by itself, I guess.
You mean like maybe back...
But, like, it was kind of iconic.
Like maybe back in the day when circuses were a big thing or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a real genre.
Okay. Oh, okay, nice. You were making me second guess myself there, man.
So I had heard the name before, but I never knew what like bands were in that genre. But I can think of a band now that I've seen the description of that genre that fits really well into that category, and it's called clowncore. And it's a band that's made of two people, and they wear clown masks. And like some of the songs, they have like a, you know, those clown horns that goes bam bam. Like it's just that horn they play once in a while, and the one guy is on the drums just like. It's like super odd. It's the weirdest thing. Actually, one of their songs, I forget if I think they had an album called Toilet, and I think there was a song called Toilet where they're playing in a porta potty, and that video was actually on Adult Swim. You know how sometimes they'll show like random shit like in between, like in the break between shows. Like
well, yes, but I haven't actually ever seen. Like, I've seen that with other channels, but I've never actually seen Adult Swim.
Well, I actually vaguely remember seeing that, and I was like, well, that was interesting. But yeah, they featured that on there, and they're like actually really good because like they kind of like how the description goes, they combine like jazz and weird things that like you wouldn't think would work, but it does. They have a song called Brendan Fraser where there's a lot of saxophone in it.
Wait, about Brendan Fraser? It's a weird name for a song.
There's some songs that are named after celebrities, like Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz. I don't know if you listen to that band.
I have heard some of their songs. I wouldn't know it by name unless it said Clint Eastwood in the song. Then I might recognize it.
Well, the funny thing is that I don't think that either the song Brendan Fraser or Clint Eastwood have anything to do with those people. They just named it that for some reason.
Oh.
So like, I think Brendan Fraser was an instrumental, and Clint Eastwood, they never said the name or made any references to the actor, I don't think, in the lyrics.
Well, that's makes things even more confusing.
It's, you know why they probably did that was just because they grabbed your attention. Like, what you see that name with the name of a celebrity, and you're like, why is this song named after a celebrity? And then you want to listen to it.
Maybe it was the Google algorithm, or maybe they just couldn't come up with a name.
Who knows? Anyway, so the last one, number 12. This one I included because it's kind of a interesting, maybe for a person who doesn't listen to a lot of metal or is very knowledgeable about its subgenres. Like, might kind of make you think. This genre is called screamo. A combination of the words scream and emo, this genre is a subgenre of emo influenced by hardcore punk and uses screamed vocals to sing about emotional pain.
I am pretty sure that I've heard the term screamo. Actually, I know I've heard that term before, but I don't know if it referred to a genre. If it isn't a genre, it really should be, because there's a lot of songs like that. I'm going to guess that that's true.
Any particular reason?
Because I feel like I've heard the term.
Okay.
And I've heard songs that fit that description really well.
It's true.
Okay, nice.
The reason I included it was because a lot of people who don't listen to metal or any kind of music that has any kind of screaming in it, just call it. They call everything screamo because they don't know what the terminology is. They're screaming in it. Oh, it's screamo, and it annoys metalheads to no end because it's just because they're screaming in it doesn't mean it's screamo. It's like, oh, this is screamo. What are you listening to? Singo?
I could totally see that though, to be honest.
So I thought maybe if you've heard the term and you kind of know how people tend to use it as a blanket term for all music that has screaming in it, if it would make you question like if that's actually a real genre or if that's just something that the non-metal people, the word that they come up with, you know. But it is a real genre, and it describes a very specific thing and not this blanket thing that non-metal heads think it is. Alrighty, that's it. We got really carried away talking about just things that, I don't know, maybe I'll put in a separate video because I think it's kind of funny. But that's gonna be it for today. Tune in next time. I don't know what we'll do next time. I haven't come up with an idea yet, but we'll figure something out. I'll see you then.